First time for Countdown's number 2 story, tonight's worst persons in the world. Brought to you by Fixed News, now celebrating 10 days without having fired Glenn Beck for calling the President of the United States a racist. 4 days since he was warned or tried to warn his fans against committing acts of violence, but 1 day after he joked about poisoning the Speaker of the House. Even after Procter & Gamble, Progressive Insurance, and Lawyers.com pulled out as advertisers on Beck's program. The bronze to Billo the Clown, mentioning the ongoing fun here with Lou Dobbs. He was attacked, along with his wife and children, Bernie, on NBC News airwaves. Bernard Goldberg answered. Some people on NBC said here's Lou Dobbs who's crusading against immigration. Not true. He crusades against illegal immigration, and he's married to a Hispanic woman. Bill, you need to help me out on this. I'm totally confused. Can't you be against illegal immigration and be married to a Hispanic woman at the same time? The part Mr. Goldberg and Mr. O'Reilly left out was this. Mr. Dobbs mostly attacks illegal immigration, but not exclusively, and his wife, having been a television sportscaster on a national network and having been caught trying to take a gun onto a commercial flight, is fair game. And given that Mr. Dobbs attacks illegal immigration, yet pays the bills for his kids to participate in the horse show circuit, which is the second leading employer of illegal immigrants in this country, he is a hypocrite. As Geraldo Rivera said on O'Reilly, quote, Lou Dobbs has done more to slander Latin people in this country than any other single human being. He has made the image of a young Latino man climbing the border wall into this profoundly negative icon that has totally perverted the discussion over immigration reform. The runner-up, Roger Ailes of Fixed News. The Washington Post reporting today that he attended a lunch in this building this year in hopes of brokering a deal in which he would muzzle his own commentators from talking about particular subjects. Quote, he could control his nutcases, he said, wrote Howard Kurtz, and later announced per Kurtz the war was over. Negotiating with the people his nutcases might cover about whether or not those nutcases will or will not cover them might seem like journalism to Mr. Ailes, but clearly no actual journalist would agree with him. But our winner, the aforementioned Mr. Beck, or if you've ever seen the movie A Face in the Crowd, Lonesome Rhodes. Angry that the phony healthcare protesters were called out the way the phony tax protesters were called out. Right-wing extremists, desperate Republicans, angry mobs, the mob, manufactured anger, Brooks Brothers Brigade. I don't remember hearing those words coming from the Bush White House. I don't remember anyone saying anything like that coming out of George Bush's realm. There are political hacks that said some awful things, but this? Really? Did we call Democrats mobs? No, you and the Bush administration called us morally and intellectually confused, disloyal, treasonous, un-American. You and the government tried to blacklist performers and commentators who criticized Mr. Bush. The administration sent us instructions on what questions to ask in interviews of Bush critics. And Mr. McCain said I should be in a padded room. And Mr. Rumsfeld called anybody who disagreed with his policies the equivalent of Nazi sympathizers. Mob would have been a compliment. And you just called this president a racist and a fascist. Lonesome Rhodes Beck, today's worst person in the world.